Morning, students. Today we are beginning a new chapter, chapter 12, Jahangir and Shah Jahan. Today we are going to discuss about Jahangir, who was the fourth king of Mughal Empire, son of Akbar. Before becoming Jahangir, or before taking the title of Jahangir, he was known as Salim, Prince Salim. Jahangir, after the rule of Akbar, came to the throne of Mughal Empire. Whether he was capable ruler like his father or not, whether he could maintain the greatness of Akbar or not, we will focus on that. On brief note, we can say that Jahangir tried to control the empire like his father, though he couldn't touch the peak like his father, but he was an administrator who tried the betterment of the common people, who tried to capture certain areas which Akbar couldn't. But you have to remember, Jahangir was successful to extend the Mughal Empire in the southern part or in the Deccan Plateau. Let us see about the Jahangir's rule and how he came to the throne first. Jahangir, towards the end of Akbar's reign, his son Prince Salim rebelled against him, rebelled against Akbar. However, Akbar forgave him, and after his death, after the death of Akbar, the great emperor, in 1605, Selim ascended the throne, assuming the title of Nuruddin Salim Jahangir. The name Jahangir was derived from a Persian word which means conqueror of the world, Jahangir. Rebellion of Khusro. Within 6 months of his accession, Jahangir faced the rebellion by his son Khusro. The rebellion was crushed and Khusro was imprisoned. The supporters of Khusro was put to death, including Guru Arjan Dev, the fifth Guru of the Sikh. Fifth Sikh Guru, that means he was the fifth Sikh leader following the path of Guru Nanak. And after killing Guru Arjan Dev, the relation between the Sikhs of Punjab and the Mughals became hostile. This was the beginning. Now, Jahangir's territorial expansion, I already said the Jahangir got the credit of extending the empire in the Deccan expedition. Along with that, Jahangir was successful to capture certain areas of Rajputana, Mewar. First of all, let us see in the map how Jahangir captured the areas. In this map, you will find these green colored areas which were captured by Jahangir. I told that he was successful to extend his empire in the southern part. You can see Maharashtra, Vijayanagara, Golconda. These areas were captured by Jahangir. So, along with these areas, Jahangir consolidated Mughal control over Mewar region also. In the Mewar region, Rana Amar Singh, like his father Maharana Pratap, refused to accept Mughal authority. Jahangir sent an army under Prince Khusro, and Amar Singh was defeated in 1615. So he consolidated the Mughal rule over the Rajputana. Jahangir did it successfully, and then Fort of Kangra was captured in 1620. Jahangir's Deccan expedition, you have seen in the map, I showed you the green colored areas which were captured by Jahangir, was successful under the leadership of Prince Khurram, and able to capture the fort of Ahmednagar. As a result of his success, Prince Khurram earned the title Shah Jahan, meaning the Lord of the World. Jahangir lost Kandahar to Shah of Persia due to the rebellion of Prince Khurram and his refusal to go on this expedition. So that means Jahangir was quite successful to capture or control over Mewar or Rajputana by defeating Amar Singh, the son of Maharana Pratap, and he captured Fort Kangra. Jahangir was successful to capture certain parts of Deccan area, but he lost Kandahar, the northwestern frontier of Mughal rule at that time surrounding Kabul. He lost it because Prince Khurram or Shah Jahan didn't want to join in this expedition. That's why. Now, let us talk about a certain personality who was present during the rule of Jahangir. It was Nur Jahan. Nur Jahan was a wife of Jahangir, and he was the first Mughal lady who started to take political decisions and joined the meetings for the nobles and the court members and decided very vital political decisions on behalf of Jahangir. Nur Jahan was the beautiful lady and the wife of Jahangir. Her original name was Meherun-Nisa, and she was married to Sher Afghan, governor of Bengal. Sher Afghan was killed on charges of treason. Treason means betrayed. He didn't want to follow the rule of Jahangir. That's why he was killed. After the death of her husband, Nur Jahan came to live in Agra, and Jahangir married her in 1611 and gave him the title of Nur Mahal, later known as Nur Jahan. So Nur Jahan's original name was Meherun-Nisa. After marriage with Jahangir, she came to be known as Nur Jahan. I already told that she was the first Mughal lady who started to take part in the political decisions and the political meetings in the Mughal Empire. She actively participated in the decisions made by Jahangir. Gradually, she became the actual power behind the throne. Coins bearing Jahangir and Nur Jahan's name began to be struck. It was for the first time it took place, because before Jahangir the coins were only spread or created in the names of Mughal kings, Mughal emperors, but during the time of Jahangir both the names were there, the name of Jahangir and the Nur Jahan also. Prince Khurram was married to Nur Jahan's niece Mumtaz Mahal. Towards the end of the Jahangir's reign, a bitter struggle started between Khurram and Nur Jahan. Khurram means who later came to be known as Shah Jahan, we already said. Between them there was a fight. After the Jahangir's death in 1627, Nur Jahan retired and Khurram assumed the throne. During the rule of Jahangir, the Europeans, especially from the England, or the representative or the ambassador of East India Company came to India, Sir Thomas Roe, in 1615. He secured many trading facilities and the first English trading post was established in Surat. Now you can understand that it was the beginning of the coming of the British in India, and Sir Thomas Roe was successful to create the relation between British and India. So students, in our last chapter we have seen the growth of Indo-Islamic architectural style under the rule of Akbar, and Akbar also respected the Hindu style of architecture and composed different style of architecture from the other previous rulers, and he also followed the Rajput style of architecture. Now during the time of Jahangir, many different kinds of architectural styles emerged. Among them, few became so popular for their unique style. On your screen, you can see the picture of Imaduddaullah's tomb, which is situated in Agra, which was actually created by Nur Jahan, wife of Jahangir. Unique Persian style was copied here, and the decoration of the walls were so unique from the previous styles, and the surroundings are covered with gardens. This tomb specifies the unique architectural style of Islamic world followed from the Persian Empire. Next, it was Shalimar Garden or Shalimar Bagh, which is situated in Lahore, and you can see that the design, unique gardening style. At the center, the water body is there, and surrounded with different types of flower plants and the flowering areas, and it was quite unique in its style. If you remember, Babar also followed the garden, different style of making gardens. Chahar Baghs were created, but Jahangir's gardens were different from Babar's style. You can see in this picture. And most importantly, a very unique architectural style developed during the rule of Jahangir, which was called Pietra Dura style, which was followed in the Islamic world in Central Asia, especially in Persia. You can see these designs, these walls are decorated with colorful stones. These walls were designed with different types of colorful stones and the polished stones. These polished and colorful stones were placed so decoratively to create a beautiful scenario. You can see this. The walls are not painted. These walls are decorated with different colorful stones of different shapes and size. You can understand easily it was quite an intensive hard work for the creators, and they created marvelous scenes to decorate the walls. You can see this. So different colors were used, different patterns were made on the walls. So Jahangir's reign saw a development of different style. Already I have discussed with those pictures Imaduddaullah's tomb in Agra by Nur Jahan, Pietra Dura style I already told, and Shalimar Bagh. Now at the last part of our discussion, the assessment of Jahangir's rule. Jahangir was an able administrator and known for his impartial justice. He continued Akbar's policy of religious tolerance and maintained friendly relation with the Rajputs, which brought stability to the Mughal Empire. At the beginning of our discussion, today's discussion, I already told that let us see that whether Jahangir was successful or capable to follow his father's pattern of rule or administration. Yes, actually he did followed, though he couldn't invent something new by himself, but he was quite capable to follow his father's policy like religious tolerance, and he respected everyone, and he was well behaved, well mannered person, and he followed the imperial policy of impartial justice like Akbar only. He provided justice for everyone. He followed, or he gave importance to justice. Though he didn't initiate any major reforms but was concerned about welfare of his subjects, his rule was noted for political stability, economic activity, and beautiful paintings. However, towards the end of his reign, the administrative structure began to decline because of corruption, because you know that during the ending years of Jahangir's rule, the coalition started between Nur Jahan or Prince Khurram, who later known as Shah Jahan. Between them there was a fight for the power, struggle for the power, and that's why during the ending years of Jahangir's reign the situation was out of control.